10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been a pretty fast series so far. We're already here with game number 3 of our best of 5 between Digital Chaos and Complexity. It's 2-0 to DC right now, but bigger upsets have happened. Can Complexity come back for the brink and manage to get themselves into the top 16 for TI, or are they going to have to just settle with wildcard in Seattle? We're about to find out. Game number 3 draft is already here. Blitz Dota. Let me hear it. Let loose that Complexity fanboy. What do they got to do to win?
Complexity's turn to pick.
Nice. I like it. Complexity are really good at doing that too. You know Complexity to a T, sir. To a T.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I mean, Crin's probably better at Dota than you are, so. Nice. Oh, that's better than some casters.
Disruptor.
Radiant team pick.
She want to cast? Those were a lot of hemming and hawing and a lot of sighing sounds from you right there. What's wrong, Blitz?
5 seconds remaining.
Uh-huh.
Reserve time.
Life Stealer.
Complexity's turn to ban.
Oh god. Oh god.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh god.
Radiant team.
Yeah. I mean, they still gotta be. It's been a really long day. They will be going to Seattle no matter what, playing that wild card, and they've got some time to get better. They've got some time to figure out some drafts, because the last two did not work out for them against Digital Chaos, and maybe Digital Chaos can teach them some things.
5 seconds remaining.
Just continue to play their brand of Dota. Like, this opening Beastmaster has been very strong for them, and my hope for Complexity is that they just keep trying to make adjustments, because clearly,
Yeah. Do you think this opening of Complexity is, I mean, we're okay with the last opening. Invoker, Phoenix, Invoker, Disruptor. What's the difference between Disruptor and Phoenix? I feel like Disruptor's a bit more reliable. I feel like we learned that on Veggies.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. And it's going to be decent here against the Lifestealer, at least. We've seen a couple of times where he jumps inside somebody and, you know, they go for some sort of play. Maybe they goes inside the Beastmaster. Beastmaster blinks in, goes for the roar. They get caught by the Static Storm. And then Lifestealer can't actually pop out and rage because he'll be instantly silenced. So I like this pickup. They probably knew the Lifestealer was going to be picked up immediately afterwards. So I think it's a suitable support and will be a counter to the pick that immediately followed the Disruptor, which was the Lifestealer. Now a Slardar going the way of Complexity Gaming. That is another one of those heroes that can do all right versus Lifestealer. The bans, once again, the Lone Druid was going to be taken out of the hands of Weehaw, who can be running at mid. They could also potentially do it as some sort of safe lane carry or something if they wanted. And same goes with the Winter Wyvern. While the Enigma and Terrorblade, again, Terrorblade going to be seen as a ban in the 3-4 pool.
Complexity's turn to pick.
Sora is probably one of the most. Is probably the most active in vogue offlaner right now. I mean, you could like you occasionally see some clockworks or something. That's a little bit more aggressive because all it needs is level 6, but that's not really picked up, you know, as constant. Slardar definitely is. Yeah. Do you like Lich just always versus Slardar? Do you think if your lineup kind of fits a Lich, are you down to just get the ice armor to try and combat the amplify damage? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is not a very feel-good support. That's for sure. Unless you're Go Black. Yeah, pretty much. Remember when IX Mike was always playing Tree and sitting in the enemy jungle?
5 seconds remaining.
That was what a great support meta that was. Thank God supports are a lot more do shit than that. Mm-hmm. The 4 position, it gets Iron Talon like the Beastmaster here. Could be greedy 4 position, but with Lich, very unlikely. We're probably just going to be seeing standard dual lane scenarios, Lich Beastmaster, maybe Lich is mid instead against the Invoker, and then we're going to have another support babysitting the Lifestealer at bottom lane. Complexity, though, they went for something a little bit different with the Mirana pickup. That is a roaming 4 position that can be pretty effective solely because for those of you who don't know, the change up a few patches ago, the arrow being able to one-shot creeps means that you can move around the map similar to a Doom, just ever so randomly throwing out arrows and killing the hard camp creeps for experience while you look for an opportunity to get a successful gank on one of the exposed lanes. Phantom Lancer for Digital Chaos is finally going to be picked up against the Invoker. We've seen this match up a few times now, and we did need to see some sort of scaling mid, most likely, with the Lifestealer being our safe lane core.
Yeah, more importantly, I think that the big thing here is that Mirana is just a complexity hero through and through. Like, I think complexity, like this hero, I think they like the capabilities of the hero, and more importantly, they're just comfortable with it. Like, Z-Freak is one of the best Miranas that I know, because he just gets a lot done with that hero.
Yeah. Hey, real quickly, can is your Dota TV audio on for you?
Yeah, there's a bubble.
Huh. People are telling me they can't hear you in Dota TV.
10 seconds remaining.
Don't worry about the people telling me you can't.
When I'm talking, sometimes the bubble takes a little bit too long to go from red to non-red.
Okay, and lower the threshold.
The threshold is a 0% cap. Next suggestion, please.
I don't know. Sand King! What? Alright, maybe we are going to have a greedy 4-position Beastmaster, and Sand King will be coupled with Lich at top, or... Yeah. But it's with the Lich, right?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Timber
Oh, and then Sand King is then met up against the Slardar. That may do the old switcheroo now, as Timbersaw is picked up. So maybe Timbersaw, Complexity will try and match that against Sand King. I have no idea how that matchup goes, but I'm imagining it's scary. That's got to be a very active 1v1, because on one side you've got this really weird caustic finale. That's a lot of magic damage, and then you've got Timbersaw, who's versus melee strength hero with his whirling depth. So I really want to see that matchup actually happen. Yeah. And I know it'll be fun to watch. I know it'll be fun to watch for the full 5 minutes, because there could be potentially kills on either side.
Oh yeah, for sure.
10 seconds.
I think the main reason why they decided to take this Timber, though, is because of the lanes that we were talking about before all of this happened. I think Complexity also understood, like, oh man, if they give that Sand King a one-on-one matchup against our Slardar, we're just gonna lose.
Right. So they put the Slardar now as kind of a sort of a safe lane for me. Is basically they're getting swindle. All right, well, we'll have to see what happens. But we got to cover the predictions. 1 minute, 10 seconds on the clock. Blitz Dota. Total number of towers killed before 25 minutes. 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, and 16 plus.
0 to 5.
0 to 5. A slow game when it comes to objectives, says Blitz Dota. Player with the most last hits at 7 minutes. Not 10, not 15, not 25, 7.
Timbersaw.
Not Sand King?
Sand King. Timbersaw.
All right, Timbersaw. He locks it
No.
in. Locks it in. Highest
Okay.
amount. All right, hold on. All right. What?
Continue.
All right. Highest amount of physical damage a hero will do to another in one hit.
Life Stealer.
No. We need a
That's
damage
enough,
percentage.
right?
0 to 500. 500 to 750. Hanskin's good. Don't worry about it, guys. We have more important things to do.
0 to 500. 0 to 500.
0 to 500. Player with the highest total magic or pure damage done to heroes at game end. Name a hero. 5.
Timbersaw.
4. 3. All right. locked it in.
Timbersaw.
Timbersaw it is.
Rattletrap.
Oh! Nailed him! Arrow
Moo
comes
might
out.
be-
Moo, he's got a burrow strike. It's done. Get the burrow strike. No, the right click comes in. Z-Freak nails the arrow, thanks to the Slardar, and nails the first blood for Complexity. Finally off to a good start for the Swedes and the 2 Americans.
That brother combination, man.
The power of brothers right there.
Yeah. That is the power of brotherhood. This matchup, I'm really curious to see PL versus Timber, because I'm pretty sure Timber does whatever he wants in this matchup. But at the same time, this bottom matchup, this is what we were really worried about, right?
Yeah. We thought it was still going to be the Invoker mid versus the Phantom Monster. I didn't actually. I mean, I guess Timbersaw maybe does better in this matchup than Invoker.
Yes, he does. Because
But-
Invoker actually loses to PL 1v1.
Yeah. But obviously, this matchup is worse. Slardar versus Sand King.
We knew that's what was going to happen, though, unfortunately.
Yeah. He'll just need some help from Z-Freak. Good old Z-Freak, who is throwing away his mana right now so he can get some last hit on some creeps. So we're going to have to wait a while for that potential game changer. Top lane is going to be Resolution and his Life Stealer, and Saksa on the Lich doing their duo aggro that you talked about with the Invoker and Disruptor on the opposing side.
Alright, so they're just pulling. This Invoker is going to be kind of annoyed in this lane. Still only level 1. Creep wave's coming in though. Should grab his level 2 soon. More importantly, Soxa's just kind of being a nuisance up here. In this mid lane, it does look as though Limp can bully out this Phantom Monster pretty easily. He's doubled him up already in CS. And this bottom lane, it actually looks like Swindles is doing kind of okay. After that first blood especially.
This only gets worse though as the lane goes on, right? You get level 2.
Most definitely.
And 2 and 3 of Caustic Finale. Things are exploding constantly. Moo's missing a lot of last hits, and to be fair, Caustic Finale does make a very different narrative for the CS, but... Sox, still waiting on that first kill in the laning phase. Obviously, we already had our first blood go down, but there is a lot of kill potential all around with the Timbersaw constantly bringing the Phantom Lancer low, the two supports as potential pickoffs here in this top lane, and never knowing quite when or where that Mirana is going to be able to strike with the arrow.
Just got to keep people on their toes. This is the one factor that Complexity didn't really have in the previous games.
So Hanskin maybe caught here, slowed down by the open wounds. They're going to try and use the kinetic field to block them out, but it's not good enough. They get the right clicks in and secure themselves an even 1-1. The arrow comes out from Seafreak, not going to be in time. They see that rotation, paying it out.
Lifestealer has phase boots. We kind of expected this lane to go pretty well for him as well. Just because Invoker's going to get so many of these creeps tonight and he can't do anything to stop this side pull.
Right.
And both of the heroes up at top are actually doing fine when it comes to levels. This Disruptor though is going to have a hard time, and more importantly, I don't really know how Z-Freak's meant to contest this top area. Like, has to hit some kind of arrow from below or something. Otherwise, the rage will always happen. And you don't care if you lose the Lich in this lane at all. Lifestealer is the real catch.
Seafreak actually picks up the point booster while he's trying to get the Wild Ring Ripper here. So seeing if he can pick up his arcane boots from the side jump. Swindles, nails Moo, gets a CS off of it, but he does a lot of caustic finale damage in the process. I know we're gonna miss this one. It's just gonna be one of those setups. You got caustic finale on 2 creeps. Swindles gets a little too close. He gets hit by the first strike. 2 creeps explode and wham.
That
500
is
magic damage
weirdly
comes out.
specific. Yeah, like
I mean, I used to play a lot of Sand Whoa, Limp gets away with Haste Rune. Has to use his healing salve, loses some of it. Comes
no,
right
it's okay.
back
It's
in.
Timber God.
Timber God, indeed.
Timber God
indeed.
don't care.
Oh, there it is. They got the kill on Sand King. They nailed him, it looks like, with the crush and arrow.
Remember when
They
you said the
finally
Sand
did it.
King would get the kill?
I mean, I was also crafting a narrative earlier on where the arrow comes in and wins the lane blitz, Dota. Listen,
Okay,
my
my bad, my
predictions
bad.
are not on trial here. Yours are.
Dude, I don't. My position, man.
Alright, you are doing well on all of them, to my dismay.
To my
Jesse, he may be done for here. Resolution rethinking about chasing with the phase boots, decides against it, seeing Swindles.
they're gonna
Now they're
get
going to
him.
be able to get the pull back here, and Resolution, he's definitely dead. Swindles even knows it. He's not even going to bother to go for the right clicks. He wants to get the extra kill, and he may just have it too. Saksa going to be slowed down, hit by the stun, locked inside the kinetic field, and that'll be a twofer for the rotation of Swindles.
Go Swindles. Doing really well this game. He's got 30 CS. He's done very admirably against this bottom lane. And more importantly, he's just had so much impact. He's already picked up treads, doesn't opt to go for that early blink dagger, which I think is the correct play. Just going straight brown boots in a blink seems like such an all-in commitment.
Yeah. Seemed like that support, that brotherly love, is really what gave him the start he needed. And he's been doing. Oh, nailed them! Z-Freak.
They're going to pick up the kill on the
Comes
Phantom
in
Lancer
with
as well.
the
This is
arrow
the first
from the side.
start that they've had so far that has gone the way of Complexity. It's a very good sign for them.
Yeah, they are really keeping the tempo going in this laning phase. I mean, that kill on Resolution at top lane was huge. Them being able to see the opportunity where Resolution has overextended himself for a glimpse. They are just nailing all of their timings right now. Swindles will be able to pick up a very fast blink dagger at this point. Every single one of their lanes is going well, excluding the fact that Chessie is low on CS, but that can be recovered, and Invoker can always come back. And
It's okay. He's got Timber to make space for him. That's the
Yeah.
important part. Is that Timber will just continue to farm, push things out. They'll take team fights across the map from him, and they can set up for things like Slithering Crush or the arrow into the Sunstrike combination.
Right.
Like, he has ways to get back into this game. Like, he's one of the heroes that I'm not too concerned about.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all right, first prediction is correct. Limp is going to be your top CS.
Nice. Knew it.
He said with so much hesitation, unsure that when he made his prediction, but
Do you know that quote by the great author, Dom Pareto? From
No.
the Fast and the Furious franchise, where he
No.
tells you, it's not an inch or a mile, you know? Winning is winning.
Oh, the jump back in. Limp, thinking about it, is going to be Primal roared up underneath that tier 1 tower. The rotation of Lich, they might just have enough magic damage, or maybe Limp is too smooth for them. Gets the Chakra, but it's not enough. Almost finishing off Weehaw. That would have been worth it with all those rotations of DC if he could have traded 1 for 1. Even a Sunstrike searching for the kill, but it doesn't happen. Weehaw delayed his retreat back just to make sure he didn't get hit by that
Moo
one.
might be dead too. Yeah, I think Moo's dead.
And Moo's gonna get the Bro Strike.
They're gonna chase him. Where's
Jumps
the arrow?
himself away.
Is he gonna wait for Swindles?
Sea Freak
Too slow.
pump faked it a couple times, realized his aim was off, and decided not to go for it.
Up at top, Resolution's gonna go back up there. The good news for them is that Beastmaster's still getting a decent amount of levels as a support, but so are Complexity supports. I'm not sure how they've done it, but they've managed to keep up.
Yeah. Well, this Mirana has been nailing arrows left, right, and center, so that's definitely kept his items going, and I think that pick off on the Lifestealer's been big. Oh, jump forward, tried to go for the arrow, move, sidesteps it, and now the turnaround. Swindle's going to be hit by the Chain Frost, tries to go for the TP out, but the extra nuke comes in from Saksa, securing the kill. 3-5 now as DC begin to claw their way back into this game with pickoffs.
Radiant's middle tower.
They're gonna need a few more of those
Yeah.
around the map, because their laning phase was supposed to go much better than this. I think Timber in this kind of game, if you look at it, there's not a lot of lockdown from. It's a very thorough Timber game where Limp's gonna get a lot of space to do what he wants, and with this many melee heroes on the other team, I can't imagine that they're gonna be able to do too much to him.
Right. There's another. You talked about how the Invoker, like this is the matchup, the two carries of the top lane where it's been the worst for Complexity solely because Chessie was a little bit behind in CS, but he's got ways to come back. That is something that DC don't really have with Resolution, right? He needs to stay ahead as a Lifestealer in this kind of game, particularly when you don't have the same kind of vehicles that they did last time we saw a Lifestealer game with the Puck being the hyper-aggressive hero. They've got the Sand King, and he will still be able to get a well-timed Blink Dagger, but it is only him that'll really be able to facilitate a lot of aggressive action.
This Swindle's rotation with the Mirana ulti, everyone's off the map, but now Z-Freak's gonna get spotted into the jungle. You just get out of there now. They're gonna spot him in this mid lane, and Limp just farming out this jungle as Moo just continues to try to farm up that Blink Dagger. Surprised that he himself is going for the Blink over anything else. Oftentimes,
What else?
Arcanes
Yeah.
into Blink.
Do you think that's because he feels the pressure similar to Swindle's last time, where he just needed to get the Blink Dagger as soon as possible and not delay it?
Yeah, I think they just have to start finding kills around the map and doing stuff.
Yeah.
This Invoker, by the way, still got minus, only about 2 minutes later than he would have liked, which is perfectly fine considering his lane.
Yeah. Misery is going to be caught here. Moo, he's thinking real hard about whether or not he wants to be here, and he decides against it. He may have just flashed his Blink Dagger, and he's going to leave Misery to die. So I was going to ask you, which one happens first? Does Moo go to the Lifestealer, or vice versa? Because I'm presuming they're wanting to combo that up.
I think he goes top.
Yeah.
I think top is a very good kill for him.
See if they can catch Swindles. We haven't talked too much about our Phantom Lancer in mid. He's currently middling net worth. He is going to get pulled back into the Static Storm. Well timed with the Doppelganger. You've got to get the perfect timing, and he was successful. He would have died otherwise.
I think Moo is camping around this mid area, but they already know that Static Storm is used. I don't think it's worth it for him to stay here. I think it's better for him to just simply start making his way up top right now, because he's not getting anything accomplished. So
Yeah.
he is eventually going to just TP up there straight away. And yeah, this is the play that we anticipated.
So what's he going to get? He wants the Slardar. Hopefully they don't run into Z-Freak, or maybe they will take Z-Freak. Okay, they'll take that kill. It's a freebie.
Kills a kill.
And see if they can... I'm not even sure if they could try and take this tower, but they're going to try and threaten Swindles anyway. Lead in. Oh, the stun perfectly timed right as Moo made his blink forward, and now he's actually in trouble. Has to Burrow Strike himself out of the Chakram. Stun Strike on the mark again. Chessie Lands it from mid-range, and now
They're gonna get one more.
He's gonna be glimpsed, TP cancelled, and you can run, but you certainly can't hide against the amplified damage. Swindles will take the last hit.
Everything turning up complexity right now. It's just hard for DC to open up this game because they have a lot of greedy heroes. Like in the first 2 games, their greed paid off because coL's lineup was so centered around having to fight into them that DC simply said, okay, as long as we're trading even, we're going to eventually just pull ahead in this game. And that's exactly what happened.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They're gonna need to get a whole lot more. They still have the epicenter up. That is something where if the lifestealer's showing, say a top lane, they can still get a successful gank. They're gonna try and use Misery and Saksa to do it with it. Now we'll see where they head to. Unfortunately, they can't really get the good value heroes, you know, because the Invoker's in the jungle constantly, and the Dire jungle is, we talked about this plenty of times, hard to invade. Limp would have been a pretty decent pick-off. He's tanky, hard to kill, but I think they would have been able to do it with this much magic damage. But unfortunately for them, Limp just cut across into the secret shop, picked up his point booster, and is nowhere to be found up at top lane.
They're going to fellash a lot of heroes up at top, and now they're going to pop the Mirana invis, they're going to invade the jungle themselves.
They got the successful scan. He knows what's going on. They're going to try and slow him down with a chakram. Is going to be in some serious trouble. Fakes it out. Real? No, they're not going to be tricked by that play, Weehaw. He's going to have to juke his way around this one. It's not going to happen, though. Limp keeps the chakram on him, slow him down for the rest of the team to get there. Complexity will find an excellent kill, and Digital Chaos will only have a tier 1 tower. They're going to go for the TP play at bottom, nice and fast, see if they can get Z-Freak. There goes the leap, manages to get the Burrow Strike out, but unfortunately there was a bit of communication problems, and Z-Freak almost TPs away successfully because of the early infest pop out, but still, they get the kill. Complexity get the tier 1 mid, though, in exchange.
That is a very farm support Mirana. She's already more than halfway to her Ags.
Wow.
The flip side of things, I guess you still have the Beastmaster that's also doing pretty well, but considering that the Mirana's only 500 net worth behind a Sand King, who we anticipated to do very well in this game, it's kind of stunning.
Complexity. They've definitely turned the momentum of this series around with this game 3, at least in the beginning. We'll see if they can actually follow through.
It's pretty close still, though.
Yeah.
Like DC, they've started to pick up some core kills. They're not in nearly as bad of a position as they once were. Their lifestealer's been pretty much untouched because who really wants to gank him? Like, the possibility of the gank not being successful is very high.
Is it Roche taking time soon for a Complexity? They've got, this time, with the Dire side advantage, a great team for doing it with Slardar and Invoker. Doesn't really take a whole lot, I think, for them to find the space to do it.
Sorry, I'm being spam called.
By who?
Nobody. That should tell you. Anyways. DC push out this bottom lane. I think that's the correct play. Limp now has the Bloodstone. It's a very good item.
They start pinging towards Roshan. Actually, I think that was Complexity that was pinging towards Roshan. Did they see the smoke? Did they get some info? I don't think so.
They did. They pinged out the ward at least. I think they have some idea. I think DC or Complexity at the same time want to go for this Roshan, and I think DC anticipated them as Misery's gonna walk up, he's gonna get spotted. This is a
smoke
static storm.
in a terrible area. If they don't get a good disruptor, static storm, neither good glimpse. They too much to get the stun on resolution as well. The Sunstrike with the chakram over the top. Oh, that's so much damage. This is already over. Complexity. How many heroes can you get for it though? They've already got one. TP out. Saksa. He'll be good. Oh, Swindles couldn't get it in time. So that looked potentially disastrous for DC getting caught in the low ground like that with smoke popping, but Not too many of the spells actually successfully land. Doesn't look like they're going to be losing anybody outside of that Beastmaster. Does manage to get away. Unfortunately, the deny. Oh, never. They got another glimpse. That's going to be on Moo. No burrow strike this time to save himself.
They are right now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, considering that Static Storm completely whiffed, and then there were some heroes that just barely managed to get away, like the Lich. That could have been like 10 times worse for Digital Chaos. But fortunately for them, only 2 losses with that fight. They still managed to get the mid-tier 1 tower, even if it was denied by Complexity. Looks like they... Yeah, looks like they're going to be giving up their tier 1 bottom, though.
It's one of the worst situations that you could have had, just because that was kind of like their move to go for Roshan right after as well.
Right.
Like, there was a lot of momentum there to be had, but instead Limp just continues to get really big. The pace of the game slows down again. They were trying to get their Life Stealer, they know that this is the highest net worth hero in the game right now. They're trying to get him active, because this is a fighting hero. This is not a hero that just wants to passively sit by and exchange farm with heroes like Invoker. Like, this is a hero that just wants to take fights, because the main reason why Life Stealer is so strong in this meta is that all of his items are really cheap. Like, Armlet into Echo Saber is very strong, but it costs you almost nothing to...
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
They're going to rotate through. 3-man smoke. Well, 4. Can't the Life Stealer intel. They'll be able to find Swindles here. Good Static Storm, though, but the Rage goes off first. Resolution tries to run down Hanskin. Arrow nails on Saksa, but it's not going to be enough for them to be able to take this fight alone. Now, Resolution really far out here. Takes a lot of damage from the Chakram. They're going to chase the Life Stealer away, and the rest of the fight's going to go in. Nice Chain Frost bouncing over to Jesse. Managed to take him out. They're still going to come in with Limp, though, and he can clean up this fight quite easily. Beastmaster goes down. They get the glimpse back onto Moo. He will be able to get away with the Sandstorm. Resolution finds his opening, be able to get the kill on the Slardar. Limp's going to try and chase him down as the magic immunity fades, while Moo being chased by Z-Freak, getting some distance on Skin. He's getting here. The arrow, not going to be able to nail the stun, nor get the reveal on the TP out. So 2 for 2. Complexity actually losing 2 of their cores, though, for the 2 supports of Digital Chaos.
More importantly, that was a dieback from Swindles. After he died, he immediately bought back. Yeah. He decided...
Right. Yeah, he did.
I mean, it looked like it was going to be a really good angle at first for Complexity, but that Life Stealer, with almost no net worth, he rips heroes apart so quickly. Like, he is the best hero at killing supports. What is a Disruptor meant to do against, you know, a Life Stealer that's just running at you? Swindles, if he commits a stun and he doesn't...
Mm-hmm. 8-13. Things, turn around a bit for Digital Chaos. They need to keep this up, though. They need to try and continue to find more Infest ganks. Got the AC coming in for him soon. If they can win another fight around that Roshan pit, take Aegis into their hands, you could say DC at that point could get full control of the game. Complexity not going to try and let DC be the initiators of the next round, though. They're going to try and go for a smoke of their own, rotating across, separating a bit. They're starting to get the information, or maybe not. Mid just being completely empty. The Radiant jungle also very barren. Complexity not going to get the pick off, are going to go for Roshan. Radiant, though, just scans the Roshan pit, and all the heroes sitting right outside the pit, entering. Flash the red light that gives DC the go-ahead. They know Roshan's happening. They're not going to try and contest. Instead, they're just going to try and take objectives. They think Complexity is too strong to fight.
I think it's more, you don't know how low that Roshan is. Like, you could be walking into a half HP Roshan that goes down very quickly, then Complexity, if they've already done it and DC's just walking in, they're going to lose a hero, because they're just going to get glimpsed on one of their cores.
Oh, Moo.
You've blown... Oh.
Moo.
You've just blown something for nothing.
Moo.
Like, look at bottom right now.
They definitely should have known. I mean, that was such a risky... It just took Roshan.
Yeah.
And the bottom lane's pushing. Isn't the natural play for you to just go from Roche to tier 2?
Yes. It immediately is. And now that decision making is going to be a lot easier. Like Chelsea's going to TP down there. Envision, they're going to push down this tier 2. They're not going to find anyways because Limp is so strong. But DC, they're just being... They were so precise with their first 2 games. And in this game, they're just being unnecessarily sloppy. And I think a lot of that just comes down to them being pressured. Like, they haven't really been pressured in this series once yet.
Right.
But now that Complexity is finally starting to make game-winning moves, it becomes harder for them. In this mid lane, look, Resolution goes down now too.
That is huge. Now, they're still going to get some damage on this tier 3 tower, but Complexity will be able to get back and defend it quite easily. And more importantly, they are just crushing DC. And one of the times they're supposed to be the strongest, they briefly glimpse the lips. They will be able to find Misery. That is going to be a second hero down. Pickoffs just seem to continue. The mobility of these heroes of Complexity are just leaving no parts of the map for Digital Chaos to try and sneak in any farm whatsoever.
That's an 18 charge Bloodstone too, and he's about to pick up his level 3 ultimate already in this game. Timbersaw's highest net worth now. Resolution could not afford to die there, and it just looks like DC don't like being hit. Like they seem to be the team that prefers being in the driver's seat, just getting comfortable. But Complexity in this game, they've got a lot more options than in the previous ones. They've opened themselves up to being able to go to the late game, which they previously weren't.
Yeah, it all, I mean, you looked at the draft and it felt like the lineups of Complexity from game 1 to game 3 were getting progressively more aggressive. Yeah. Right, it was, game 1, that was that very passive double support opening of Elder Titan Oracle. Those heroes just don't get things done in the laning phase. Game 2, we had the Phoenix picked up, a little bit more of a team fighter. We had a push lineup, but they still needed some time to farm away. Here, Complexity... And maybe it's just the Slardar off lane, as you pointed out, actually rather early on. That seems to be kind of the preferred mode for Complexity with their offlaner, Swindamelons. He seems to be a lot more successful when he is trying to be a tempo controller rather than a slower farming offlane.
Yeah, I think that kind of style just doesn't fit them anyways.
Yeah. DC, they go for the smoke. They are looking for something. They're going to invade deep into Dire Jungle, or I thought they were anyway, but they give up entirely. They're actually just going to reveal for the push. But they may still get picked off. Swindles managed to get the stun out of Resolution, not fast enough. Here comes the turnaround though. Moo managed to get the epicenter in, but it doesn't matter. They've already lost Resolution, and Moo didn't even have the damage to kill Hanskin. Honestly, it wasn't even that close.
Sort of think at this rate we're looking at a game 3. Very good job by Complexity. Yeah. Or game 4, sorry.
I mean, technically you're right. We are looking at a game 3 right now. That is happening before our very eyes.
It really looks like we're going to start looking for a game 4. Like, this game just seems very hard for them to win. Hanskin's going to find another glimpse pick off.
And there it is. Saksa, he's an easy kill. Chain Frost, got to get lucky. That's not going to be the bounce they needed. Chessie, he was dropping lower and lower. Weehaw couldn't get him low enough. Oh, that was unlucky. He was right next to the cliff. He'll stick around, might be able to get the kill on Chessie, but that is just an Aegis. He much would rather have been able to make it back to base. Now they do lose their Disruptor. Hanskin finally goes down. Misery took it with a Primal Roar, but Complexity, probably not expecting such a huge win right outside that tier 2, will now be able to take full control of this game without a doubt.
Just going insane. Like, he's got 20 on the Timbersaw. He's going to grab his Shivas very shortly.
All got another one. Arrow.
And an arrow.
These making it look easy with these skill shots. Yeah, you're tickling Limp. He doesn't mind too much. They're going to start cutting across here. Chessie looking for the opening here on Cold Snap. Forces out Rage. Resolution. Wandering around. He's actually going to turn on to Swindle. Still has the Infest save. So Complexity aren't going to fully commit. And time to fully back up now, friends. They kind of half-backed earlier. Now they're going to fully back up and play to their strengths. They don't need to worry about trying to push high ground. They can sit back, control the map, farm away, because they do have some significant advantages with this Timbersaw and Invoker just getting bigger and bigger.
Moo has sat on this Aether Lens recipe for I don't even want to say how long.
Like, so close.
this has just been such a rough game for them.
Yeah.
Like they committed a lot. If you're gonna go for this aggro dual lane cap, and you're gonna have these passive lanes because Lich can't really rotate, Beastmaster can't really rotate, then you're just gonna simply hope that Mu gets a lot done in this safe lane. And the fact that
that's actually the story of game number 2 as well, is that the laning decision was that they would do some sort of aggro situation that would free up their offlaner to have a good 1v1, and that 1v1 did not go as planned. Completely turns against them, and if you lose that, then you've just screwed yourself on 2 fronts.
that's where laning phase does matter when you have a heavy commitment like that.
Yeah.
Like when you decide to go for, if you remember when, well, of course you remember, when Complexity did it themselves when they went for the aggro tri lane.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Ah, yeah, that was...
Thanks for that. For a refresher, a game I just casted and talked about, Blitz.
Was that insulting?
No, because I knew you were being genuine. You were just talking to the audience, but
Yeah.
using me as a conduit. But I just like making fun of you, so.
As a conduit, I like that.
You know that's what it is, guys. Half the times when Blitz is talking to me, he's actually talking to you guys. He really likes you guys. More than
I
he
did
likes
not
me.
laugh there real fast. Alright, this top lane gets pushed out. This is the correct play to do. Unfortunately for them, Timber's got boots of travel and he doesn't care about anything.
Doesn't care about anything. I mean, that's a pretty good way to put it. Limp's living a good carefree life.
Dude, this guy, Silver Spoon.
He was born in privilege.
Yeah. He doesn't even understand what it's like.
He doesn't know the
Actually,
ghetto
that's not
life
true.
that DC supports have to live.
Timber did know that for a really long time. Timber was like the worst hero for a while,
Oh yeah, sure.
but he's come back.
But not in this game.
Not in this game.
This generation of the Timber saws.
Yeah, his parents worked hard for this one.
What is he? Look at him.
He's stacking up. He's stacking up charges.
So he can take the tower?
Yeah.
So he can take the tower. Okay. I thought it was funny he was just holding out the chakram at the same time.
Must be nice when, you know, all those units hitting you just heal you.
Yep.
That's the funny part about Timber. He doesn't care about any unit in the game except other heroes. Nothing bothers him.
Oh. He's just happy to be there. Happy to experience it. Getting that reactive armor chart, he's gonna have an extra chakram. Like, it wasn't good enough having only one chakram. He's gotta have 2.
Didn't he just finish his Shivas?
Yes, he did.
That... Things have escalated. The situation has deteriorated for DC.
he's that Val girl, born rich. 16, sweet 16 rolls around.
Yeah.
The
money just
rolls.
keeps flowing. He's just like, where did I get all
Yeah.
this?
The 18-year birthday comes up, gets a Ferrari. Hey, just rolling in it.
Timbersaw, where you going? This game has slowed down though, because DC are just like, we never want to fight again.
No, they gotta. I mean, they do have a way back into this game. It's gonna be through the Phantom Lancer, right? It's still going to be difficult for them because Phantom Lancer is going to have to, in some ways, carry the game for DC. While Complexity, they can kind of split the load of the carry between Limp and Chessie.
I guess there's no real BKB dealers on the side of DC. Like, nobody's really gonna grab one. So Limp is always gonna be very strong in this game.
This may end up very good or very bad. DC grouped up are kind of being sandwiched, but they're going to be able to get the strike first, or are they? Alright, they got Swindles, managed to get the Burrow Strike, trying to finish him off, but here comes the Force Staff, a little bit of space. Chain Frost will be able to finish him off. Moo instantly gets taken out, and so does Soxta by Chessie. Well, he's tanky, but can he actually output the damage to threaten these heroes? Starts going on a Chessie, burning through him, but the invis goes out, and Weehaw, just like that, as Limp shows his face with the pure damage, starts threatening him. They still manage to get Chessie, though, as Resolution comes in with a rage and right-clicks him down. Limp looks to kill Weehaw, running low on mana, gets a lot of damage out, but it's just not good enough.
He's out of mana.
Bloodstone Suicide incoming, boys.
Goodbye, Limp.
It's gonna take a while, but he finally does it. Goodbye,
That
cool
was-
world.
You know what? Somebody said this is either going to go really well or really poorly. It's like only two options. It went
There
really
was no
poorly,
middle
Cap.
ground.
There's no middle. That's true.
I
No,
was
these-
right. Complexity.
That was fantastic.
The complexity, that Moonlight Shadow worked for them. Are you saying I was wrong, Blitz Dota?
It worked really well for DC. They picked up kills. They got the Timber down. They cut so many of those Bloodstone charges. They killed the Slardar. More importantly, they killed the Invoker. Like the Timber Saw, yeah, he's annoying, but you want to make sure that he doesn't have a backup core. No backup, buddy.
And this Phantom Monster is going to be pretty good against him too, burning through that mana.
That's the important part. It's not about the damage, because they tickle Limp. It would have taken them a really long time to kill him. But it's the fact that once he doesn't have mana, you're okay with that.
Reminds me of like those scenes in Lord of the Rings where you see a giant with like a whole bunch of goblins or something on it. It's just kind of like lumbering around. They're trying to stab it, it's not really doing anything. Limp just kind of lumbers around while Digital Chaos are trying to poke at him. But if they have the mana burn, it means he can't actually do anything back to them, and he will eventually be chipped down. That being said, we are going to have a second life going the way of Complexity here. They're going to be giving it towards Chessie, I assume. Chessie, who is going Scythe of Ice, I believe, with this Blink Dagger?
Yeah, maybe he goes to Lincoln's.
You think, I guess Primal Roar, yeah.
Dude, Invoker players don't build hexes.
That's true.
Look at that. Lincoln Sphere on the way.
Listen, you agreed with me.
Yeah, but then I thought about it, and I think you have to,
Then you
think
put
about it.
an ounce of thought into it and realized how wrong I was.
Dude, once in a while, I'll just let you say your things, and I'll be like, Cap's a good enough player. He won't lead me down this wrong road.
Man, I was just having a conversation. Never mind, I won't go into that. We're gonna have a rotation from DC.
Oh, Limp just clearing every single tree that he possibly can to make sure nobody on DC I don't even know what the...
Hey, he doesn't realize it, but they're actually on the other side of the lane, and they're actually going to go for
they
Limp
can kill
here.
Limp
They
again.
saw Chessie, but instead
This
they're
is
going
a
for
huge
Limp, and
kill.
he's really not the target. He's a tank.
he is.
He's a beast. Okay, maybe not. Maybe they can take him down. They're going to be able to lock him down. They've got the kill. Chessie's going to be hit by the Chain Frost multiple times. They've got him dead to rights. Now Resolution locked inside the Static Storm. He's going to go down, or maybe he's not. He turns around, kills 12, gets off the armlet, and runs himself away just ahead of that. Chessie can't kill him, and now Resolution, say hello, buddy. You wanted some of this? Nuh-uh. Resolution, he gets the kill on Invoker. Finally, Limp brings down, but he's 1 versus 4. The lumbering beast
uses
of the
buyback
Timber
for this.
Saw. He looks for the kill, gets another Bloodstone charge. He still has
Limp,
to
you
deal
gotta
with
get
Weehaw, though.
kills on the trees.
Oh no, he has no
no
more trees to be able to escape. Can he make it out of this one? Throws the chop, trying to cover his tracks, killing the illusions of Weehaw, trying to limit this mana burn, and with the Moonlight Shadow, will be able to get away. They had the gem, but they decided that is not worth the chase. With a buyback on the Mirana, they forced.
He went down really fast, and
He did.
not enough credit will go to Resolution for his shenanigans right there. Like, he extended that fight much longer than there was any reason to. And Complexity, they had the Aegis on the Invoker, the best target. They went on the Timbersaw. All of these things are so good for Complexity, and yet DC completely turned that fight around. This game was not very close for a really long time. If you look at the XP, 12,000. Net worth, similar direction. Now all of a sudden, both categories, 0. I can't even believe this game has turned around. Like, Complexity had such a good way to win this game.
How do they bring it back? Blitz Dota. They chill out. They wait for the next Roshan. They've got this dire side advantage. They just wait and take advantage of it as much as possible. Or do you think they need to be a little bit more active, like they're doing now against Weehaw, trying to catch him out? Managed to get the blink away though, and that gank is pretty much done. Oh wow, they actually did manage to. Oh, never mind.
He's always gonna dodge that.
Still got the doppelganger.
Yeah, he's always gonna dodge that. And all these fights, the last two fights have gone the way of DC, and that is an incredibly worrying sign for Complexity, just because they had the Aegis in that last engagement as well, which should have been what tips them over the edge there, but just way too much damage from this Phantom Lancer. No Manta on him either.
Scan.
Understands that he just needs to build pure DPS against this Timbersaw.
Yeah, Manta wouldn't really last long against Timber, right? So. Gets the bash. Maybe he can get a lucky bash during a attempted Timber chain away or something. He can focus down Chessie at some point. A lot of options for our Phantom Lancer as this game has very sharply taken a turn against Complexity, but they're looking to be able to get back on course here. The wraparounds with the smoke through the mid lane, but DC, they're actually going to start pushing out here and may just be able to find the pickoff they need to turn this fight into their favor. They get Hanskin instantly. Nobody else Complexity will be caught though.
What a reversal from just 10 minutes ago, how this game looked. At one point it just looked like it was going to be GG in favor of Complexity. They were...
Yep. DC, one of the magical things about their lineup is that they're able to just kind of go. They're not really terribly reliant on cooldowns. Moo, his epicenter is the longest cooldown they have, and it's not really that big of a factor when it.
Finally, that is a huge pickup for them. That is the biggest pickup for them. They just CC'd him, and the important thing for Complexity right now, Cap, is that they have to be the ones to play aggressively. If this Timber's on the back foot, he's not putting out nearly as much damage. Like, you want to be able to use Chakram number 1 and Chakram number 2. He's the best one they've got. They're trying to buy time. They don't want Weehaw to have to buy back for this, if they can help it. Key here is to save the racks. Alright, they're finally starting to string together a little bit of offense on the side of Complexity. I do like that they decided to go for these aggressive maneuvers. They got what they came for, which is this melee racks. Even more importantly, the 10-second BKB charge just popped. And this Phantom Lancer, the good news for him is that he didn't have to use that buyback, but at the same time, it resets the game a little bit more in Complexity's favor once again. Like, things are slowly starting to turn back down for them. And they're going to finally get their next item progressions. I think Complexity are outclassed in the late game, but I don't think it's impossible for them to win. They've got a lot of different ways into this. Trying to force some buybacks. I don't know, I feel pretty comfortable about game one when I said. Oh, they killed, that's a gem too. This is very good. Three, 5, and 20. Alright, they're gonna go down mid now with these two pickoffs. They can assume that both supports don't have buyback and they'd be correct in this. It's gonna take a pretty big effort from DC to hold these. It's gonna be a straight up 3v5 fight. Moo's looking for the complete wraparound here. Oh, Moo gets popped so fast. Kind of, in a roundabout way. Dude, just like Dominic Toretto said, it doesn't matter. By an inch or a mile. You'll take that. Dude, that's how I've lived my life. Friendship above all, man. Yo, what's my favorite saying? Ride or die. Alright, they're gonna go into this jungle here. Weeha's not quite there yet, but he's gonna connect with the rest of his team. They're gonna make their way up. They're gonna find this Forge Spirit. The jig is up. He pops a refresher though. They're gonna get this Roshan now too. DC, very back and forth game right now. No clear winner in this because they're still down a Rax, but their cores are starting to get really menacingly huge right now. The butterfly's completed now on Weehaw. Quite a big item for him. Gonna make it very hard to bring him down, especially if he plays this correctly as he has been, just allowing Resolution to be the hero to run in first. Resolution now starting to scale really strongly for the late game as they consistently find ways to kill this Invoker. Five on 5 engagement, and the good news for DC is that it does go in. They're still down a Rax. We'll see what they decide to turn this Aegis into. It is gonna force them to play aggressively and Timber Saw. lead with the Static Storm on the back line, make sure that Misery doesn't get his roar off. That's a big thing. And try to create space for the Invoker. Like, it's gonna have to be Swindles that leads in. They're gonna go for that. Yeah. Whoever supports gets their abilities off. It's gonna determine a lot of this. Like, if supports can get all of their abilities off, like you get a few Star Storms, an arrow or two, and you get the Static Storm off, then you're in a really good position. And I think DC know that Complexity's behind them. They might actually just decide to go for this, but instead they're gonna go for the high ground here, and Complexity, they desperately don't want to walk up there. He's about to complete Abyssal Blade too, which is really gonna help. Alright, so now he's got the Abyssal Blade, just about complete. They still want to take use of this Aegis though. I think there's no reason for DC not to abuse this Aegis on this Lifestealer, especially considering how hard he is to kill in the first place. And he actually swaps the BKB out for that Echo Saber, deciding that he is tanky enough to survive these fights anyways. And Venomizer on the Lifestealer. Yeah. It's purely because of the Aegis. There's even a cheese on the courier that they're not using. I guess they don't have item slots and they don't really need it on their side heroes. Yeah, Moose pinging out. He wants to go back to base, defend this top push. They don't want to lose his range racks. Like, at the end of the day, the range rack's still worth a good amount of money. It pushes out the lane very aggressively. It's quite annoying. They really want to kill Misery if they can. He's their gem carrier. Chelsea's on the hunt, but the rest of his team is so far behind, but they're still going to go for it. That Dagon. That Timber Dagon 4. 15-second cooldown. It's pretty incredible right now. No, this is very strong. You almost always want to get this Dagon 5 at some point. Like, a lot of Timber players won't get it immediately as their 6th item, but when you're this far into the game, it's kind of plan B.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Maybe a Hex. That's about it. More control's never a bad thing in the ultra late game. Yeah, they immediately got out there, they split up in different directions. They did it as a group, it was very well calculated, but at the same time, DC, they didn't have their Aegis available. For DC, you need a clean pick, any sort of initiation. For complexity, the same. Every single time, whoever starts the fight wins it. Because if you can instantly get a 4v5 fight going, you're in a really good spot. coL just gonna go to this bottom area. They're just mirroring each other right now. It's good play. Like if you notice, even their wards, like there's one ward from coL here, there's one ward from DC here. They're just watching each other. I think this is going to be coL's game right now to lose. They're in such a healthy position. It's very hard for DC to burst any of these heroes. Oh, move. Resolutions. BKB's on cooldown. Oh, he can't afford to die. They're gonna go for throne. They know it's 5v1 right now. They have all the buybacks in the world. We makes the first chip, but immediately goes down.